this is the Provoked Prawn, and this is a video to compare two fantastic wireless gaming headsets from Corsair. The Corsair HS80, which is the more affordable of the two, and offers wireless connectivity and USB-C with high-res audio, and the Corsair Virtuoso XT. This is the flagship of Corsair's lineup of headsets, the most expensive of the two, and a very premium looking device with some really nice features and specifications to it. This is a video to compare the two, and I've unboxed and reviewed them both separately, and I'll link to those videos in the description. I want to talk to you about the differences and the highlights of each, and which I prefer and the reasons why. Now, the Corsair HS80 is an updated version to the HS70 and offers a number of really nice highlights that include Dolby Atmos license included with the headset. It also works using slipstream wireless dongle that you can see on the desk, and a USB-C connection on PC. This will work with both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, but you get the best audio on PC when plugged in using that USB-C cable, as it will give you 24-bit 96 kilohertz high-res audio. It has a flip to mute microphone, as you can see, and an interesting design that looks very similar to SteelSeries headsets, with that sort of headband at the top which moves with your head, so you don't press your head up against the actual upper edge of the headband. And that is adjustable, and you will see a little bit of that on the inside, and I'll show you more of it later on. You'll see some RGB lighting on the Corsair logo on the outside, and an LED ring around the microphone. I'll show you the capture quality of that mic later on. Both these headsets have fantastic capture quality on the mics that deliver really good sound and a decent amount of external noise cancellation. The Corsair Virtuoso RGB Wireless XT is the flagship device, and as you can see, there's a lot included in the blocks. You get a 3.5mm cable, USB-C cable, the wireless dongle, the headset itself, a carrying case, and again another Dolby Atmos license. You'll notice the difference between them almost immediately. The Virtuoso XT looks a lot more premium. It also has a lot more metal going on in it, and it has an interesting design set up to it with a padded headband instead of that strap system. But one thing that you will note is there are round ear cups on the Virtuoso XT instead of the shaped ones on the HS80, and that is a big point of note for me because the comfort of the HS80 is superior. You will see that there are faux leather memory foam cushioned ear cups on this XT though, and that allows you to block out a lot more external noise and to focus on the game. This headset too offers 96 kilohertz 24-bit audio when plugged in on PC, and 48 kilohertz 24-bit over the slipstream wireless connection as well. The other point of interest about the Virtuoso XT is it also has Bluetooth connectivity, and that delivers high-res audio as well. It also comes with a broadcast quality microphone that you can detach, so you don't have to use it, but it delivers fantastic capture quality, and again I'll show you this later on. It also has a mic mute button on the microphone itself, and you can press and hold that to turn side tone on and off so you can hear yourself inside the headset, which is obviously important if you have faux leather ear cups. There's a ring around the end that lets you know when it's muted as well, and it's quite flexible. Corsair's microphones on the Virtuoso lineup have always been fantastic, and this one carries on that trend. You'll see the number of different connectivity possibilities here: Bluetooth, wireless, USB-C, and a 3.5mm connection. That obviously opens you up to be able to connect to multiple different devices. But again, this headset really does best when plugged in on PC using iCue, Dolby Atmos, and just a wired connection to give you that high-res audio and make the most of the headset itself. However, it's nice to have that flexibility, and one of the best things about this headset is the fact that it has Bluetooth connectivity as well. So that means you can connect to your phone while also plugged into your PC, or using a wireless connection to play games, so you can listen to music and sound from games at the same time as well. And I'll talk to you a bit more about that later on because it also becomes interesting in other ways. It uses Corsair's slipstream wireless dongle here, which you'll see is exactly the same to the one with the HS80. Gives you a good solid connection to the PC, and it's a plug and play setup, so it's really easy to use. you also get a really good audio out of this in my mind. Both headsets deliver fantastic audio and good positional sound when used with the Dolby Atmos license, which is included in the box. You just need to download Dolby Access and Corsair's iCue software, and they'll automatically be recognized, and then you can make some tweaks. I showed this off in the review if you're interested. You get a nice braided USB-C cable, which does a good job of connecting, and a really nice looking bit of kit as well. Now, a bit about the design of the headband on the HS80. I already said this is quite similar to SteelSeries. You'll see it has a strap system basically that sits on top of your head, and that stops you putting pressure on the top of your head from the plastic at the top. I did note in my review that it isn't terribly large though, so if you do have a massive head, you might find that problematic. However, it can be adjusted. You'll see on the inside of the main upper headband, there are a couple of Velcro attachment straps, part of the system. Basically, you can loosen and tighten these and then adjust them into a position to give you a better fit. I found that I had to extend these so that it was as long as possible, and it was still ended up being a little bit uncomfortable and had to pull it down a little bit occasionally. However, I have found this to certainly be the most comfortable of the two, and one of the most comfortable headsets I've tried in recent times. The ear cups are fantastically designed as well. This has a cloth design ear cup to it with memory foam cushioning, but also is just superbly comfortable. It's worth noting here that you can see that it's not possible to remove the ear cups, so those don't come off. However, I don't think you'll want to swap them out. You'll notice they're more ear-shaped than the Virtuoso. Instead of being round, they are a proper shape, so it's much more comfortable for your ears. I find they're roomier, deeper, and larger, but also more importantly, they have a much softer finish to them, which delivers a lot more comfortable wear over the day, and it's easier to wear for both gaming and working and whatever else you're doing. You can wear this for hours and hours and hours, which is great. On the external side, you'll also see the Corsair logo is RGB, and you can change that lighting within the software. You can get up to 20 hours of battery life, but obviously turning that RGB lighting off or down will improve that and how much battery you're getting out of it. The Corsair Virtuoso XT also has RGB lighting on the Corsair logo, and again you can adjust the brightness and the color of this within the software. It's a little more subtle though. You can see it on the brushed aluminium finish, but if you don't have it turned on, it really doesn't stand out very much at all. So the XT is definitely the better looking headset that could be used as headphones. You'll note the ear cups have a nice bit of twist and turn and tilt in them, so they're really easy to adjust to sit nicely on your head. But the main gripe that I have with them is the design of the ear cups. It has, however, got a really good clamping force, and so it sits nicely on the noggin and is good to wear in terms of not flying off when you move your head, and also just sitting nicely over the ears to block out external noise and to deliver a really good sound. The headband is also nicely extendable, and as you'll see, a really good build quality to it. Nice solid use of metal and a really nice overall aesthetic. Because the microphone's removable, it also means that you can use this as headphones out of the house, and because you have a 3.5mm connection and the Bluetooth on offer, you also have a lot more in terms of connectivity. Now, more on the ear cups. As I said, these are round, and you'll note the memory foam cushioning on them is quite plush. Has a nice faux leather finish to it, which blocks out a lot of external noise. But my main complaint about these is they're too shallow and also not large enough, which means that they just squash the ears over time. The good news is though that they can be removed. You can see that they simply twist off, so you can twist them off and potentially purchase some aftermarket ear cups which might deliver a better quality. But unfortunately, because of that round design, I just feel like they're not comfortable enough. Some people in the comments have said the same. Others have said that they found them fine. So it's really going to depend on the size and shape of your ears. If your ears stick out a little bit, or if they're just on the large side, you're definitely going to find this headset a problem. I found pressure on my ears from the drivers pushing against them, and also just the ear cups not being large enough. However, the cushioning, as you can see, is fantastic, and they do a good job of blocking out external sound and letting you focus on the game. large drivers deliver a great range of audio, and also you just got the benefit of that 96 kilohertz 24-bit audio when plugged in, and also the high-res audio via Bluetooth, which means that you can listen to Tidal and things like that and make the most of that high-res delivery. On the head though, this headset certainly looks fantastic. It's probably the better looking of the two, but this is going to be a personal preference and opinion thing. However, I would recommend the HS80 as well, because it is a very affordable headset, and it's still a good looking one too. It's not too garish. Corsair said this is inspired by their Void lineup, but in my mind this is far less gamery than previous headsets, and it is still a fantastic bit of kit. Now, it doesn't offer Bluetooth or 3.5mm connection, it's just USB-C connection or the wireless connection, but you do get a great sound out of it. You'll see the difference between the two in terms of the controls on the headset. For example, the Virtuoso XT obviously has a lot more holes in terms of ports for plugging in things. It also has a lot more controls. You have a button to switch between wired and wireless mode. There's a volume control wheel here, which is a very satisfying thing to use, but also more importantly and interestingly, there's a Bluetooth button and Bluetooth volume controls separately lower down on that ear cup. And that is interesting because press and hold that button to pair with a Bluetooth device, but you can also adjust the volume of the Bluetooth independently from the other volumes on the headset. So that means you could have your phone, music, whatever at one level, and then your game audio at a different level, and you can adjust them independently. The controls there also are multifunctional, which means that you can use them for things like skipping music, pausing playing, accepting calls and things like that. So obviously you can take calls on your phone because it has a Bluetooth connectivity, and use the microphone for that. So what you can see is that the Virtuoso XT is a lot more flexible than the HS80. It has a lot more connectivity and a lot more controls on it. The HS80 basically only has a volume control and the power button, although the power button can also be pressed to change between equalizer settings, to change EQ settings, and the Virtuoso XT has EQ settings within Corsair's iCue software as well, that I will show you in the review if you click through and watch that. And you can change Dolby Atmos settings too. Both of them are quite flexible in that way. Both deliver quite a similar sound in my mind, and so the HS80 is the more affordable of the two, and yet delivers a fantastic fit, great comfort, and a good all-round setup, while the Virtuoso XT has a lot more on offer but isn't anywhere near as comfortable in my mind. And here I am with the Corsair HS80 in wired mode on the head. You can see what it looks like there. And this is the capture quality of the microphone in that mode as well, which is really, really good. You'll note that the indicator on the end is white when it's in use, and if you flip it up, it goes red, and you also get an audible cue in the headset to let you know that it's muted and that the feedback is off. So there is some side tone through the microphone, and you can adjust the levels within Corsair's iCue software as well. I don't find it to be terribly loud, the side tone, unless you move the microphone really close to your mouth, which you can't really do because it just springs back out. It's quite springy. So it's not easy to adjust in. However, at this range, it doesn't pick up pops and very easily, so that's obviously fantastic. I'll show you what the capture quality of the microphone's like while I'm typing. So I'm just typing in the background now, and you can see it does a good job of blocking out external noise from what I've seen and heard, and more importantly, it does capture a really good quality, really good microphone, a good price point, and all round fantastic. And here I am now with the Corsair Virtuoso XT with it unplugged in wireless mode, and this is the microphone quality when it's in that mode. And as you can see, it captures some fantastic broadcast quality audio without much of a problem. It delivers really great sound. Now I am going to type on the keyboard in the background, and the fans from my PC are running at high speed at the moment, so you'll see if you can pick up any of that. but I have noticed that it blocks out a fair amount of external noise and still delivers a really good capture quality. It is fantastic. You can press and hold the mic mute button on the other side to turn side tone on and off, and you can adjust the levels of the mic and the side tone within Corsair's iCue software. It's off as default, so you can't hear yourself, and because of the padding on the ear cups, it actually blocks out a lot of the external noise from surrounding environment, and so you really do need it on to be able to hear yourself clearly, I feel like. But the levels of it are good enough that it delivers fantastic quality of audio capture. There's a little bit of it still picks up a little bit of mouth wind, but the overall quality is very good. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Hope you found this video useful. Let me know in the comments if you've got any questions. Thanks for watching. This has been the Provoked Prawn. Hope you found this video useful, interesting, hilarious, or otherwise. Take a look at these other videos that I think you might find interesting as well. And have a look at the description for links and other information you might find useful. Click that join button to see the benefits of being a member of my YouTube channel. And most importantly, have a great life.